Ryan here from Ryan's Predator Flies. I'm going to tie up a pike streamer today. I'm going to use EP silky fibre. Only really normally use this for the head, but it's wicked for bodies on pike flies. You get a nice realistic movement. So I started off, got 6.0 hook on here. It's an actual bait holder hook. I find it grips the thread nicely as well. So I'm just going to 150 denier thread. Just going to wrap the thread down the shank of the hook, get a nice base built up. Just trim the tag end off. Then I'm just going to run it in line with the barb. Pull down kind of tight. Then I always add a blob of super glue on there as well. Keep that all secure. Right. So I'm going to, just whilst that dries, I'm just going to get my first piece, which will be the tail section. Going to take a nice, judge your length off this by the tail. So the eye of the hook to the end of your fibre. Just going to bring it down. Don't want it too big. So that we've got 3 inches or so of fibre to start off with. Trim that one off first. Now you see it's all level, so you're going to want to just loosen it all out, pull the fibres out, and then pull it between your fingers to get a different length, so it's not just going to come out flat when you tie the fibre. Now I'm just going to tie this straight on. Get the rough length you want. Put that onto the top and do a couple of loose wraps and then pull down tight. I'm going to trim the tag end off on that. And then I'm going to take another piece slightly shorter than that one. Just bring it up to it. That one's got a nice taper on it already, so what I'm going to do is tie that straight on. So this is going to be near the bend of the hook. So what I like to do is separate it in half and then move the thread out the way, push it underneath so it separates around both sides, pull it down to where you want it, and then again a couple of loose wraps, pull down tight. That's your tail section tied in. Don't worry about the shape of it too much just yet. As we get into the fly, we can adjust how we want it and how chunky we want it as well. So just going to trim off a little bit more excess off the bottom of this. Cool. I need to sharpen my scissors. Right, so I'll always do this as well. Obviously, with it being a pike streamer, as you know, they have teeth. Put a blob of super glue on the thread where I've just tied it in, and that'll assure that it's tooth proof, or at least it's going to last you longer rather than not having any. And they just chew through it. So what I'm going to do is just going to come forward slightly. Just going to wrap that loose in there. Pull down. Now ready for my next piece. So again, get your fibre. I'm using synthetic today. I'll make some more videos of tying up on bucktail as well, natural products. So I'm going to hollow tie these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the little bit of thread, fibre. I'm going to bring it, pull the tail out so I can see what it is, and I want to taper it now from the rest of the fly so it'll bring a nice fish pattern, a fish shape. Can't get my words out today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off probably another 3 inches. Trim that off there. going to pull the thread out. I'm just going to pull it between my fingers now, just to get a nice taper on it again. Pull out the loose fibre. Right, so grab it in your fingers. You're going to want to place it the longest side facing the shank of the hook, the eye. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 wraps, pull down tight. And then I'm also going to grab another bit. Now, this is up to you, really. You can keep it the same length or you can taper it on the bottom, depending if you want it a nice smooth body. So I'm going to keep it the same. Measure up against the other. That one's already got a bit of a taper on it. So what I'm going to do is tie that straight in underneath. And again, 1, 2, I'm going to do 3 wraps. Get it in place. Pull down tight. 1, 2 more wraps to give me a flat spot. Right, now what I normally do is separate that bottom fibre because it's going around the bend of the hook. I do have a tool for this, but push back. This is what's going to give you fly volume. Now what I'm going to do is grab that one that I've taken in half. I'm going to pull that either side of there. Make sure you're not stuck on the point of the hook. So get that where you want it. Excellent. Right, so I'm not going to directly tie on top of the thread because that's going to take a lot of the volume out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie slightly in front but keep it up tight so it doesn't fall forwards. So I'm going to grab it. I'm going to tie a couple of loose wraps, pull down, tie, tie, tie. And I'm going to come forwards now with that. You'll notice with pike flies as well in particular, less is more, especially if you're chucking it on a traditional fly setup. If you're adding cheb weights and bits and bobs like that, it's not too important. But they're just going to hold more water. They'll be a lot harder to cast out if you're doing it with a lot of body fibre on a fly rod. Right, so I've wrapped forwards, drop of super glue. You don't want too much, just enough to hold it. Back to your fibre. Again, same as last time. Just cut 2.5 inch or so. That's going straight on. Whack that on there. Couple of wraps. Pull that tight because that's in place now. If you're prepared, you can actually pre-cut this if you know where you're going with it, but this was a bit of a last minute video, so let's just get it tied. So again, underneath, couple of loose wraps, get your fibre where you want it, pull all that down tight, fluff it all up, spread it out. That one, we're going to go in half again on the bottom. That one's going to push over. Don't worry about the shape too much at the moment. We'll sort all that out at the end. We'll brush it all through. And then we'll trim up where necessary. But quite a lot of time, there's no need for trimming at all. Now you can start adding flashaboo as well. But I'm not going to... I don't want no flash in this. Just want a plain roach set. Imitation roach. Wrap that, pull down tight. All come forwards. Just want to wrap a bit more thread up front. Excellent. Right. Bit of super glue. honestly, you can get so obsessed with the shape of it at this point, but it's just wait till the end. That's what I always do, because you'll be there all day long. Right, so you're gonna want to start taking shorter bits of fibre now. This is going to give you a nice bulky head, often called bulkhead streamers as well. I'm going to take roughly what we got here, 1.5 inch, 1.5 top, 1.5 bottom. I'm going to get that one on there. Do 1, 2, 3 wraps, get it in place, pull down. Same again. Get a good 1.5 inch. Trim it nice and straight. Put that on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Get it where you want it. Pull down tight. And then I'm going to do another 2, 3 wraps. And that's now ready to pull back. Let's move this vise back a little. So coming up to this point now, we're probably 3/4 up the shank of the hook now. So this will probably be the last one where we have to separate the fibre at the bottom, just so it doesn't catch and snag on the hook eye. Right, that is pulled in nicer. So we're starting to gain, as you can see, a nice, once that's all tied in, a nice fish-shaped body. The fibre pretty much does it all for you. You just have to make sure that you're making the shape as you go along with it by tapering the body. Sorry, I really cannot get my words out today. Just going to come back down the hook eye. Right. Tie off that. Right, I was going to grab some more glue. After every one, glue. It's going to back you up, especially if you're selling them as well. You don't want your flies falling apart just because they've caught one pike. The time it takes to make them as well, you're going to want to make them last as long as you can. You don't want to be tying fresh flies up every time, unless you've got blunt hooks and stuff. So, back on it. Grab the fibre. So we're getting even shorter now. We're going to do just over an inch, sorry. Get the first one up, offer it up. 1, 2, 3 wraps, pull down tight. That's where I like it. If you're wondering what I'm measuring, I've got a self-healing mat down here, and it's got a tape measure ruler built into it. So it just makes it a little bit easier. Do it all in one go. 1, 2, 3, pull down tight. Right. So we're going to make sure as well when we start getting towards the hook eye that we don't get too far to the eye with the fibre, because you're going to find it difficult to tie off. So I'm going to spread that one back. Pull your bottom layer down. Excellent. I'm happy with how this is looking at the moment. It's starting to look excellent. Pull back and wrap in front. Right, sorry about that. I just had to pause the video. Someone decided to knock at the door. So now I've just pulled the thread forwards. Just drop a bit of glue on there. Right. So as you see now, we're starting to come up to the eye of the hook. Let's move that a little bit closer. So I've done my wraps up to there. That super glue is going to keep that nice and tight. So I'm going to add one more piece of white above, one more piece of white below. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of grey EP fibre and a little bit of red below. Just red and white is my go-to colour for pike. It's a classic colour. It catches pike everywhere you go. And the way I'll be fishing this as well, I'll be fishing it mainly on canals in the Midlands. Get a nice body. Yeah, fishing it on the canals in the Midlands on my lure rod. So I'll be fishing it with a cheb weight. Sorry, there's loads of loose fibre in there. Yeah, I'll be fishing it on a cheb weight. I do like my fly fishing. I'm going to get into it a lot more this year. I might even try it on the canal, to be fair. It's just trying to find somewhere suitable where I can do short casts without hooking the trees behind me, because that's just not ideal at all. So, like I said, I'm not putting any flash in this. So, just want it nice and plain. So that's all the white fibre done now. I'm just going to open that fibre out, spread it out. It's not too important because I am going to brush it out at the end. Pull that all back. Right, so I'm just going to tie this bit down here. Come in front of it again as usual, like we have been doing on the last sections. A few tie wraps, come forwards. Now that's going to take one nice white fibre in there. And then we'll see what it's looking like. We'll give it all a brush out. We'll get some eyes on it. And then it's ready to go. Right, let me just pull that white fibre out of the way. Bit of grey. And a bit of red. Right. So I've got the grey fibre here. I'm just going to do... I don't want too much grey. Just want to break the colour up a little bit. So I'm going to do... Oh, I don't want it too short, so I'm going to have it so it comes over the head a little bit. So I'm going to cut a nice 1.25 inches. Trim that off there. That's that done with. Let's put that away because it starts to get a bit messy else. So now, when you first get it out of the packet, this is a fresh pack I've just opened. The fibres are really, really flat. So what I mean by pulling them through is you just tapering the fibre before you tie it in, because of it, I find it don't look right when you tie it in. If you want this end nice and flat and a nice clean cut, just give it a little trim off. Nice and flat there. Pull your fibres back. Drop that on there. 1, 2, 3 wraps. Get it where you want it. Pull down. Perfect. Right, I'm going to grab a little bit of red EP silky fibre. Now again, I don't want too much red. I just want enough. Might have a short bulky bit, to be fair. Just want it just to come up, just like a little lip. Right. So I just literally just grab it, offer it up, and then it's about 1.25 inches again. You don't have to be too precise on the measurements. Just make it how you like it. That's the beauty of fly tying. Everyone makes things differently, and there's no right or wrong way. At the end of the day, it's going to catch fish. As long as there's fish in the area, you're going to attract them in. Right. Rightio. So that's that all tied out. I've just got it in position, so I'm going to pull down tight, couple of wraps. Now I'm just going to pull the thread apart to unbulk it. Now you can gauge where you want your head now. So I'm going to pull that back there. So I was using the camera then. Never have that luxury. Just going to pull back around there and open that out a little bit. So I'm going to pull that all back in position. I'm going to finish that off with a few wraps just to keep it all in tight. Right, starting to come to shape now. So I'm just going to whip finish on the eye of the hook just to tie it off. Just trim that thread out the way. Alright, so there's a few loose fibres in there. It's all looking a bit messy at the minute. So what I'm going to do is, just for now, just to settle that thread in, I'm just going to pull back on all this. I'm just going to drop a tiny bit of super glue there. But it's going to be UV glue at the end. And with the eyes, you can make the head as bulky as you want it to be. So, right, let's have a quick look at that. Let's loosen this up. So that's not actually too bad, to be fair. So, right, what I'm going to do is, let's just get some eyes on this thing. Right, I'm going to grab my eyes. So I'm going to use these large eyes here, predator eyes. I always stick these on first with super glue, and then after it's bonded, I'll come over with the UV glue and I'll securely attach it. So grab my eye. So just a little bit of glue. I'm going to stick that straight on there. Push it down to bond it. Now I'm going to turn over. Find the position that you're in. Grab another eye. Same one. Make sure you got it the right way around because you can't pull it off after. Bit of glue. Then try and match the same position of what your last one was. Right, so this is starting to come together now. It's starting to look a bit more fishy. I'm actually happy with how that's looking. This probably won't need no trimming at all, to be honest. Yeah, that's looking wicked. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to grab a little bit of UV glue, UV resin. I'm going to secure the eyes with that, and I'm going to shape the bottom here. Secure all that thread in. Just going to pull that thread over that eye a little bit. That's wicked. Yeah, wicked. So that'll all sit in as well. Don't be put off by that. So really need to get a better bottle than this. I've got buck's tail wrapped all around it. So what I'm going to do is spread a bit on the eye, around the front of the hook here, a little bit around the sides. So I do one side at a time, otherwise it runs and drips. Just let that cure. It shouldn't take too long if you're using a small amount. Excellent. So that's set already there, and that's solid, that is. So next one. Make sure that's all correct and done. Right, so yeah, that's all set nicely. So what we have now is, let's get a bit close to the camera. A lovely roach imitation. Now, I'm not even going to bother trimming this. What I'll do right now, I'm going to brush it. I'll just put the lid on this glue. I have this brush here that I use. Wait, where's the camera? This brush here that I use. But I'm going to use the wider bristle one. I'm just going to grab it, lay it down flat. and just brush the fibres out. That'll untangle any that have got caught up whilst you've been in the tying process. So it'll be looking something like that. So what I do is just run my hands down it. And you got yourself a roach imitation. So this is, let's see how long this is. So this is 5.5 inches. It's one of the smaller ones that I tie. I've tied some massive ones, up to nearly a foot long. It just gets ridiculous. The options are endless. But yeah, if you've liked what you've seen today, I'm just getting used to being in front of a camera. It's not something I normally do. So if you're happy with what you've seen today and you want to see more, let me know down in the comments, and I'll make some videos on it. Open to options, even trout flies as well, but I specialise in predator flies, pike flies, perch, zander, saltwater, bass. Yeah, let me know, tight lines, and I'll see you in the next episode.